Hey, it's time we talk about the correct way to slice your meat and which direction the grain runs. Plus, I'm going to show you my favorite marinade for grilling season. So this is a flank steak, and it's the easiest way for me to show you which direction the grain runs in a piece of meat. As I hold this way, it almost looks like a broom with these muscle fibers. You can see them. So when you hear the term slice against the grain, it means that we want to slice this way against the grain. If we slice this way, we're slicing with the grain, and it will make your beautiful flank steak very tough. And we also have a skirt steak. You can see with a skirt steak, the grain runs this way. As you can tell, this may pose a couple challenges when we go to slice this, but don't worry because I got your back. Let's go marinate this flank steak. I always find the easiest container to marinate this in is just a 9x13 baking pan. This is 1/2 of an onion that I have thin sliced, and about 8 to 10 garlic cloves that I've just crushed with the side of my knife. 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil, about 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar, a pinch of red pepper flake, and this is about 1/2 bunch of parsley. There's also a couple of thyme stems in here. I'm just gonna tear it roughly with my hands. This can also just be stems, you can use basil, whatever you like. Give this a good mix and you can really squeeze the parsley, squeeze the onion. Then we'll get our flank steak nestled in here, and you can use all of your parsley and your onion almost like a mop. Let this hang out for at least an hour or even overnight. If I'm gonna do it for a prolonged period of time, I like to go in about halfway through, I'll flip the flank steak over and reorganize the parsley and the onion on top of the flank steak. Then with our skirt steak, we're just gonna do good old-fashioned salt and pepper. Make sure to season both sides. I can't tell you the amount of times I see people marinate a skirt steak, cook it beautifully, and then mess it up when it comes time to slice it. I got you covered. Skirt steak can be super thin, so you want your grilling surface screaming hot. This has only been maybe 1.5 to 2 minutes, but because this is so thin, I'm not gonna worry about getting a crosshatch pattern. I'm just gonna flip this, and for me, I'm gonna let this cook maybe another 45 seconds. Now I'm gonna pull this off, put this onto a clean plate, and I'm gonna let it rest for at least 5 minutes. Now we can season our flank steak on both sides with kosher salt, and we'll lay this right down on our grill at a 45-degree angle. And another great way to look at grain direction on meat is to use your fingers. If you remember, this looks like our flank steak when I held it up. So you wanna minimize the length of these muscle fibers by slicing it against the grain. You wouldn't wanna slice it this way, and now you're chewing on this whole muscle fiber. After about 60 to 90 seconds, we're gonna turn this 90 degrees. Then after another 60 seconds, we're gonna flip this over and cook the other side for about 60 to 90 seconds. Then we'll pull this off, get it onto a clean plate, and we'll let this rest for 10 minutes. And now that our meat has had a chance to rest, I can show you what's going on here. Remember our flank steak? We can see the grain running this way. So we're gonna lay the grain perpendicular to how we're cutting. And this makes it a whole lot easier because what you wanna see when you cut against the grain is this. You can see the individual muscle fibers in here and the separation. Now with our skirt steak, if you remember, the grain runs like this. You can see it. So your instinct might tell you to slice it this way. But this is what slicing with the grain looks like. Skirt steak can be longer, so you can cut this at an angle, or if your skirt steak is really long, you can cut it into more manageable sections, then turn it 90 degrees. Now we have slices that are against the grain that are also the perfect size. And follow me if you learn something new about meat.